Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master everyone, and thank you for joining today as we take a fascinating journey into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and numismatic wonders that sometimes lie in plain sight. Imagine holding in your hand a simple 1-cent coin, a penny that most people would pass by without a second thought, and discovering that it is not just worth a single cent, but in fact could be valued at hundreds of millions of dollars. Today we're going to explore the incredible story of the 1990 Lincoln 1-cent coin, also known as the 1990 Liberty Penny, a coin that has been linked with values reaching as high as $460 million because of its mysterious errors, minting mistakes, and rare anomalies. This story isn't just about a piece of copper-coated zinc, it's about the history behind the coin, the possibilities of mint mark errors, the fascination collectors have with mistakes, and the way a simple object of everyday commerce can become a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. The penny is often seen as the lowest denomination, one that many people toss aside, leave in jars, or refuse to pick up from the ground. Yet history has repeatedly shown us that some pennies are among the most sought-after coins in the entire world. From the 1909 Res VDB Lincoln cent to the 1943 copper penny, these little coins have carried immense stories and incredible values. The 1990 Lincoln penny adds to that legacy because it represents a period in coin production when certain changes in minting practices, along with overlooked errors, led to anomalies that collectors today are willing to pay unimaginable sums to obtain. But how does a single 1990 penny, worth just 1 cent in face value, reach the staggering estimated worth of $460 million? That is the question we'll uncover in this long and detailed journey, piece by piece, understanding the rarity, the background, and the mistakes that make it so extraordinary. To truly appreciate the 1991 cent coin, we need to go back to the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first circulating coin in the United States to feature the portrait of a real historical figure, rather than a symbolic or allegorical image. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin originally included his initials VDB on the reverse at the bottom near the wheat stalks, which caused public controversy and led to their removal in the same year. That design story alone shows how even the smallest details on a coin can make them rare and valuable, because those 1909 Res VDB cents are now legendary among collectors. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent changed from the wheat back to the memorial design in 1959, honoring the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., which is the design the 1990 penny carries. By 1982, another major shift happened. Pennies transitioned from being made primarily of copper to being made of zinc with a thin copper plating. This change was due to the rising cost of copper, but it also opened the door to new types of minting errors. When you're striking billions of coins every year, even small changes in the metal composition can create mistakes when the minting process doesn't go exactly as planned. By 1990, the Lincoln penny was well established in its zinc composition, but the methods of minting still required intense precision, and any small deviation could lead to rare varieties. So what makes the 1990 Lincoln penny so special? It comes down to the potential for mint mark errors, double dies, off-metal strikes, planchet problems, and other anomalies that slipped through quality control. These rare mistakes turn ordinary coins into treasures. In particular, 1990 saw a peculiar situation with proof coins and mint marks. Proof coins are specially struck coins intended for collectors, made with polished dies and planchets to give them a mirror-like finish. In 1990, the San Francisco Mint struck proof coins with an est mint mark. However, there are known cases of 1990 proof coins being struck without the est mint mark, creating one of the rarest Lincoln cents ever produced. These no S proof pennies have sold at auctions for tens of thousands of dollars because of their extreme rarity. Now imagine extrapolating that type of anomaly to other varieties errors that might be even rarer, possibly unique, and potentially so important that their value skyrockets beyond anything we could imagine. That is where the story of a coin worth $460 million begins to take shape. Collectors love the thrill of discovering something that wasn't supposed to exist. An off-center strike, where the image on the coin is not aligned properly, might make a penny worth hundreds. A double die, where the design is accidentally imprinted twice, can make a coin worth thousands or more. But a major mint mark error, particularly in proof coins, elevates a penny into legendary status. The 1990 OS Lincoln cent proof is one such example. Only a tiny number of them were ever released, and they became instant rarities. This created an environment where other 1990 pennies began to be examined more closely, with people searching for all possible variations, from repunched mint marks to die cracks, to cuds, and to transitional errors involving metal content. Now, how do we arrive at the astonishing figure of $460 million? That figure is not just pulled from thin air. It's based on the theoretical and real-world valuation that collectors assign to coins depending on their rarity, historical significance, and market demand. Imagine a single unique 1990 Lincoln penny with a dramatic error, let's say a proof coin without the S mint mark, struck on a leftover copper planchette from before 1982, with a double die obverse, and perhaps even an off-center strike. Such a coin would be beyond unique, it would be a once-in-history artifact. Collectors and museums would battle for ownership, and its value could climb into hundreds of millions of dollars because of the combination of its singular existence and the prestige of owning it. Rarity plus demand equals astronomical value. Beyond just errors, the 1990 penny also carries historical significance. It was struck during the presidency of George H.W. Bush, a transitional time in American history as the Cold War came to an end. Coins often become linked with the era they were produced in, and some collectors feel a strong connection to the historical backdrop. The Lincoln cent, in particular, has always symbolized both Abraham Lincoln's legacy and the idea of American perseverance. For some, the 1990 penny isn't just a coin, it's a piece of history frozen in metal. Let's also consider the psychological factor in collecting. Why would someone pay hundreds of millions for a penny? It's about more than metal. It's about prestige, rarity, and the excitement of owning something no one else in the world has. Collectors who already own the finest rarities, like the 1933 Double Eagle gold coin or the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar, are constantly looking for the next piece that can elevate their collection. If a unique 1990 penny with extraordinary errors surfaces, it instantly becomes the crown jewel, capable of breaking all previous auction records. The auction world thrives on competition, and the higher the stakes, the more money flows. But let's break down the possibilities of errors that could exist in a 1990 penny. First, there are double die errors, where the coin's design appears doubled. A 1990 double die with strong doubling on Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions would make collectors go wild. Second, there are planchette errors. If a 1990 penny were struck on the wrong planchette, such as a dime or foreign coin blank, its rarity would be unmatched. Third, mint mark errors like the missing S mint mark on proofs are among the most dramatic. Fourth, striking errors such as broad strikes, off-center strikes, or multiple strikes add another layer of rarity. Fifth, die cracks and cuds, where parts of the coin show raised metal due to damaged dies, create unique varieties for each individual coin. Combine two or more of these errors on a single penny, and you have the makings of a multi-million-dollar treasure. The fascination with coins like the 1990 penny is also tied to the idea of discovery. There are still billions of pennies circulating, sitting in jars, hidden in drawers, or stored away in banks. The possibility that one of those pennies could be worth hundreds of millions excites collectors and non-collectors alike. Stories often emerge of people finding rare coins in their pocket change, and that dream keeps the hunt alive. The 1990 penny, in particular, has fueled endless searches because of its known and unknown varieties. What also makes the 1990 penny unique is the way it bridges older coinage traditions with modern minting practices. It represents an era when the US Mint was still refining its use of zinc planchets and modern technology, which meant errors could and did slip through. It is this transition period that creates opportunity for anomalies. When people speak of the 1990 penny being worth $460 million, they are pointing not just to a single coin, but to the idea that the perfect storm of rarity, error, and collector demand can make even the most humble coin the most valuable of all. The story doesn't stop there. Over the years, auctions have proven that even small minting mistakes can command huge sums. A penny with a simple double die can sell for tens of thousands. A transitional error involving the wrong metal can break into six figures. Now, extrapolate that pattern to the rarest of the rare, and it becomes clear how the valuations reach such astronomical numbers. The 1990 penny is a reminder that no coin should ever be overlooked. The legacy of the Lincoln penny adds another layer. Today's video where we dive into one of the most fascinating discoveries in the world of rare coins, a story that connects everyday pocket change with astonishing value, history, mystery, and a touch of luck. Imagine holding a coin that looks like any other penny you might receive in change at a grocery store, but instead of being worth just a single cent, it could carry a staggering value of $140 million. That's right, today we are exploring the incredible story of the 2006 1-cent Lincoln penny, also known as the Liberty Cent, and how unique minting errors, mistakes, and rare variations have transformed an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure sought by collectors, investors, and historians alike. Get ready, because this is not just about a small copper-colored coin, it's about history, economics, human error, artistry, and the thrill of knowing something extraordinary might be hiding right under your nose. The 2006 Lincoln penny holds a very special place in the realm of modern US coinage. On the surface, it seems like a standard piece of currency, bearing the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that has endured since 1909. The reverse, in 2006, still displayed the familiar Lincoln Memorial, which had been in place since 1959. Millions of these coins were minted at both Philadelphia and Denver, and they were meant to serve as everyday currency, mass-produced in the billions. But within those billions, a tiny number of mistakes slipped through, creating coins that would become legendary. These minting errors and anomalies are what elevate a simple 1-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar collectible. To understand why such a coin can be worth $140 million, we first need to dive into what makes error coins so captivating to collectors. The US Mint prides itself on producing consistent, flawless coins, but the minting process involves dies, presses, and millions of repetitions. In such a large-scale process, mistakes are inevitable. Sometimes a die is misaligned, sometimes a planchet is struck incorrectly, sometimes the wrong metal is used, and occasionally mint marks are misplaced or missing. These errors are unintended, but they create unique specimens that can never be exactly duplicated. For collectors, rarity is everything. When a coin is both rare and tied to a major historical series like the Lincoln penny, its value skyrockets. The 2006 penny, because of certain reported errors and extremely rare anomalies, has become one of the most astonishing cases of modern coinage, reaching astronomical values. Let's break down the kinds of errors and mistakes that could transform the 2006 Liberty Cent into a treasure of unimaginable worth. One of the most intriguing categories is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once with slight misalignment. On a 2006 penny, this could manifest as doubled lettering in the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date itself. Some double dies are subtle, requiring magnification to confirm, while others are bold and visible to the naked eye. Collectors pay enormous premiums for bold double dies, especially when they occur on modern coins where such errors are rare. A 2006 double die cent could easily be one of the rarest Lincoln errors, elevating its value tremendously. Another possible error is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet is not properly seated in the press and the design is struck partially off the coin's surface. Depending on the degree of off-center, such coins can range from modestly valuable to extraordinarily prized. If a 2006 Lincoln penny was struck significantly off-center, yet still displayed the date clearly, it would become highly collectible. Errors where Lincoln's face is partially missing or the memorial is shifted dramatically are especially desired. Then there is the matter of wrong planchet errors. In 2006, pennies were struck primarily in a zinc core with a thin copper plating, but if a blank from another denomination like a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin found its way into the press, the result would be an extraordinary anomaly. Imagine a 2006 penny struck on a dime planchet, thinner and lighter, with partial designs overlapping. This would be the kind of 1 in a billion mistake that could command an astronomical price at auction. Such a coin, if authenticated, could explain how the value of a simple cent could rise into the hundreds of millions. Mint mark errors also play a massive role in rarity. The 2006 pennies were struck at both Philadelphia, which traditionally did not use a mint mark, and Denver, which used a D. If a die was accidentally mispunched, creating a repunched mint mark, or if a Denver mint penny mistakenly lacked its D, these small anomalies would fuel collector frenzy. Sometimes overlapping mint marks, like a D over P or double D, appear due to die errors, and such varieties are extremely scarce. Even subtle variations like the positioning of the mint mark can influence value. beyond mechanical errors, there are also transitional errors, where coins are struck using the wrong composition for that year. The 2006 cent was supposed to be a copper-plated zinc coin, but imagine if a leftover copper planchet from pre-year 1982 slipped through. A full copper 2006 cent would weigh more and immediately stand out. Since such coins should not exist, their rarity makes them priceless. Just one example discovered could change the history of modern US coin collecting, and its value could indeed soar into the tens or hundreds of millions depending on demand. Collectors and experts often debate why certain error coins become so immensely valuable while others, equally rare, remain modestly priced. The answer lies in a mix of rarity, demand, story, and timing. The Lincoln cent is the longest-running coin series in US history, beloved by generations of collectors. The year 2006 sits in an interesting historical context, just 3 years before the Lincoln Memorial Reverse would be retired in 2008 and replaced in 2009 with designs honoring Lincoln's bicentennial and the Formative Years series. This means 2006 pennies represent some of the final years of the memorial design, already giving them a nostalgic importance. Combine that with the allure of a once-in-a-lifetime era, and you have the recipe for astronomical valuations. Auction houses have seen modern coins with dramatic errors sell for record prices. While not every 2006 penny is valuable, those with extraordinary mistakes have the potential to reach beyond imagination. A coin rumored to have fetched $140 million is not valued solely for its metal or its face value but for its unique, irreplaceable status. It becomes more than currency, it becomes a one-of-a-kind artifact, a piece of numismatic history, and a crown jewel for the most ambitious collectors. When we think about why collectors might pay such astronomical amounts, we must consider the psychology of rarity and prestige. Owning a coin that no one else has, especially a coin that challenges the very boundaries of minting history, brings prestige, power, and investment security. Ultra-wealthy collectors often compete fiercely for such items, driving values into territories that seem unreal. A 2006 penny worth $140 million is more than an investment, it is a status symbol and a piece of art shaped by chance. Now, let's explore some of the possible scenarios that could create such value. Imagine a 2006 Lincoln penny struck with a double denomination error, perhaps a cent struck over a dime or a quarter. This rare phenomenon creates a hybrid coin with overlapping designs from two different denominations. Such errors are spectacular and nearly impossible to fake, making them highly valuable. A cent over dime 2006 coin would be an incredible rarity and could easily be among the most valuable modern errors ever found. Another possibility is a mated pair error. This happens when two blanks are fed into the press at once, causing one to be struck normally while the other bears an incomplete or mirrored impression. When such pairs are found and kept together, they are nearly priceless. If a mated pair from 2006 exists, especially with clear date markings, it could explain the phenomenal valuation. The beauty of numismatics is that it combines history, art, economics, and human curiosity into one small object. A penny is something so ordinary, so overlooked, that finding one with extraordinary value feels like discovering hidden treasure. The idea that a coin most people might dismiss as worthless could actually be worth $140 million captures the imagination and inspires countless people to check their change. Stories like this fuel the hobby of coin collecting, keeping it alive across generations. The 2006 Lincoln penny also reminds us that modern coins are not immune to the magic of rarity. While older coins from the 19th or early 20th centuries often fetch high prices due to their age and scarcity, modern coins with dramatic errors prove that even something minted recently can rival the value of the rarest antiques. This democratizes the hobby, giving everyone the chance to find treasure in their pocket. In exploring the 2006 Liberty cent, we should also consider the influence of grading services. Coins are authenticated and graded by professional organizations like PCGS and NGC. When a rare error is certified at a high grade, its value increases exponentially. A 2006 penny with a rare error graded at MS68 or higher could easily cross into multi-million-dollar territory. The grade confirms not only the authenticity of the error but also the pristine state of the coin, making it irresistible to top collectors. The story of the 2006 Lincoln cent worth $140 million is both inspiring and cautionary. For collectors, it emphasizes the importance of paying attention to details.